Okay, let's talk a little bit about safety before you start reading on into your chapter here. The few things we're going to be talking about here is some of the things that we'll be doing in class and some of the important things. So, like the sign says, sure, it's always better safe than sorry. You can never be too safe, but you can always be not safe enough. So, the big thing is slip, trips, and falls. Slip, trips, and falls is one of the biggest things out there that can get you. It is actually the second largest emergency room, a thing you go to the emergency room for, second to only automobile accidents. And there's 8 million people a year go to the emergency room for falls, and 1 million of those are just from slipping on something. Now, the big thing for slip, trips, and falls is house cleaning. As you can see here, one of the big things that a lot of people do is they'll spill something, or they are trying to change some oils or something like that, and they'll leave it on the floor and just say, I'll clean it up later. Even though if you don't slip and trip on this or fall, the problem is you're going to track this off to the shop, and a lot of your managers and a lot of your vendors are not going to accept this kind of behavior. So anytime you get to spill something, go ahead and clean it up right then. That way it's not everywhere. Now, trips is a big one. I'm a big advocate of know your surroundings, and you're going to hear that in class. Know your surroundings. Know what's behind you, know what's around you, underneath you, above you, and always have an exit route. So like this gentleman here, if he falls here, what's his exit strategy? Can he fall forward? Does he need to try to make his body go sideways? So he has to know his surroundings. But with our hoses stretched across the floor is one of the most common for us, our hoses and extension cords. So just try to have those up against a wall or against your truck, something like that, to prevent this, or just kind of warn somebody or put something around it to where somebody can see it, because again, falls, 8 million people a year from falling. So these are what usually get you this, or stepping off of a step of the truck and stepping on top of your creeper, or somebody else's creeper. So just these are things to look out for when you're for your safety. Now, one of the things that we can do to make sure that we are being safe and stay away from slip, trips, and falls is a well-organized shop and good house cleaning. You can see here this picture. This shop is pretty good and organized. It's got the lines there. Everything is inside the lines. Nothing's outside the lines except for the truck. And you don't see no oil on the floor, and you don't see no hoses stretched across or anything like that. All the hoses are right there at the truck. So good housekeeping and good house cleaning of your shop is, to me, is a valuable person. But just because you don't show that you're a pig, you are the face of that company. No matter where you go, if you have the shirt on or whatever, you're the face of that company. You go out to eat and somebody sees you with that shirt on of your company, or they identify you because you worked on their unit before, and you act up, or you get handprints all over their truck or anything like that to be unprofessional, that word goes out there fast. A lot of CBs are turned on when one person's complaining. So always good housekeeping. Treat the truck better than your own, and always, always, always be aware of everything around you. Now, one thing we don't want is this. Here we have somebody who's just, when they get done with their stuff, they throw it on the floor. Leave the air hoses out. Leave your bottles out. The Gatorade bottle you see there, the air hoses, the impacts, the air tank there, it's called the Cheetah. They let that out tire rims laying around, and you can see around the tire rims there's probably little sockets or valve stems or something laying around, just garbage everywhere. This is what kind of shop that nobody wants to come to. No matter how cheap you are, somebody will pay more money to go to a nicer shop that's got good house cleaning, because this actually represents how good you're going to and how good you're going to keep his truck clean and how good you're going to work on it. So housekeeping not only keeps you safe, but it keeps you busy, because they know you're going to respect their truck because you respect your own house. All right, PPE. These are the things you're going to be needing in class. These are the 3 things that, to me, is the most important of the PPEs for us all the time, just because these are pieces you can't get back. One is your eye protection. You have to wear your safety glasses at all times in the shop, and you get an eye put out, there ain't no buying a new one. Your feet, steel toes with the leather wrap is the best ones to keep as you see there, the sparks and stuff, it don't catch on fire. You just need a good steel toe, because your steel toes is going to help protect your toes, and you're going to find that out, because if you've ever dropped something on your toe, you know that toe does not like pain. And last is your hearing protection. I recommend that 100%. A lot of shops do not require it. They require your shoes, your steel toes, and your safety glasses, but they don't require hearing protection. But with that is, why would you not go without it? If you've ever talked to an older person that can't hear you and they're having to yell and you're having to yell, you'll understand why the hearing protection is a good thing. It's another one of those things. All 3 of these is something, if you lose it, you're not getting it back. Your hearing, you're not getting it back. Your eyes, you're not getting them back. Yeah, they might be able to put your foot back on, but if it's smashed down like a grape, it's done. So always use the PPE or personal protection equipment, and all 3 of these will be required in the shop. And this is the reason why. Anything can fly in your eye. You can walk through the woods and just get poked in the eye. You be helping somebody out and they can hit you with a hammer, not even knowing it, or push something on one side of a shelf and it falls off the other side and it's going to get your foot. And again, like the doctor there says, I'm sorry, but when your hearing's gone, it's gone. There ain't no getting it back. The last thing I'm going to talk about before I get off here, and the rest of it will be in class, will 100% be required, is you will need to use wheel chocks, and you will need to use jack stands. The reason why is, I don't care if you got a jack underneath there or not. I've had trucks slide off of jacks because the air brakes something release and they slide just a little bit and they'll sit there for a minute and they'll fall off. If you had a jack stand underneath there, you'd be okay. I've worked with people that's had their pelvis and everything just smashed because of this. So always use jack stands no matter what. And the wheel chocks. I've had several people get run over, or we've had to pull a truck off of because the truck started slowly rolling and got him and come back on him, and he was the wheel chock. So you don't want to be a wheel chock with something that weighs 25,000 pounds. So always use your wheel chocks, always use your jack stands, and make safety a habit, because it's not a hindrance. If you think that safety is going to slow you down, imagine how far it's going to slow you down when you crush a leg, or you gouge out an eye, or anything like that, and how long you're going to be off. So take the extra 10 seconds to be safe.